Good afternoon and welcome to the July 16th, 2025 Technical Review Meeting. My name is Anna Barge and I'm the Senior Planner with Oldham County Planning and Development. The purpose of this meeting is to review proposed subdivisions, zoning map amendments, and development plans before they go to Planning Commission if required to. This gives local agencies and utility companies that will provide services the opportunity to review plans, discuss and comment about the accessibility of services, and ensure all aspects of development plans adhere to zoning and subdivision regulations. This meeting also provides adjoining property owners and concerned citizens in attendance the opportunity to ask technical questions of the applicants or agencies represented before you. We will allow a combined 20 minutes of time for these comments. No testimony in favor or against an application may be taken at this meeting, and no decisions are made at this meeting. Keep in mind this meeting is being live streamed on YouTube, and the recorded meeting will be posted to the Oldham County Fiscal Court Facebook page and the Oldham County Fiscal Court YouTube page. If you need to have a conversation among people around you or on your phone, please leave the courtroom when finished, and please check your phone to ensure that all the notifications are off to reduce interruptions. So we have one item on our docket today, and that docket is TRC-25-012 Choice Landing. So now it's time for the applicant to come up and give a brief overview.
Good afternoon. Mike Hill with Land Design and Development, 503 Washburn Avenue, Louisville, 40222. There's also representatives of Pillar, formerly Apple Patch, here in case there's questions for them. So this site in Crestwood, we were here a few years ago and got approval by a different developer of an apartment project. You may remember that. It was, I think, 3 individual apartment buildings, 32 units, I believe. It just never came to fruition. So this is a totally new project by a new developer, the property owner, actually. So what they're proposing is, I'll just slide. I gotta close that one, don't I? So what they're proposing in this space here, which is a 3-acre lot right in this vicinity, is a single building, 3-story unit. It's a residential care facility. It'll have 72 living spaces within it to serve their clients, which are people with developmental disabilities. And the proposal includes parking to satisfy the amount of employees and residents as well. So our parking that you see there is compliant with Land Development Code requirements. There are 2 access points, one out onto Celebration Way and one over to Apple Patch Way as shown. There are existing utilities in and around the site. Actually, there'll have to be relocation of some of them because our building is being located where some existing utility lines are located, particularly a sewer line. But we will be relocating that. We will be tying into existing stormwater system that exists in the roads, the adjacent roadways. And then we'll be connecting to the existing sewer that runs through the property after it's relocated. Landscaping you see is conceptual. If approved by Planning Commission, we will have to then go into our site civil construction drawings and create a detailed landscape plan that shows what kind of landscaping is required, screening, buffering, fencing if needed. In addition to the main building, there is one structure already on the site. It's in this location here. It's one residential building that is owned by Pillar. They do have residents that live in that building, and it will remain. It's not proposed to be removed or altered with this proposal. That's pretty much it as far as the summary of the project. Happy to answer any questions and receive your comments.
Okay, the next step is for agency comments, and I'm going to start with the planning and development comments. The following comments apply to the Oldham County Planning and Development review of the plans dated June 13th, 2025 for the Choice Landing project submitted for TRC review. Number 1, include the name and dimension right-of-way of the abutting cul-de-sac on the southern portion of the plan. Number 2, add the bearings and dimension, and I'll give you a copy of all this, dimension of tract 1. 3, note whether there are any areas of steep slope over 30%. And then I have some items to add in the site statistics. And then just like you said, a landscaping and lighting plan will be required prior to construction, and that'll be after Planning Commission approval. And then lastly, I have a few addressing updates to make. So Louisville Water sent me their comments saying that Louisville Water has infrastructure near the development. This does not constitute an approval for service from an existing water main or a determination that a water main extension will not be required to serve the development. A property is eligible for service only when it resides within the Louisville Water's retail service area and abuts a public right-of-way, public water easement, or other public utility easement within which a company water distribution main is located. An approved new service application is required to obtain service, and it says how to contact them. And the nearest water main size is 8 and 12 inches, and the pressure zone is Crestwood 940. So those are the comments from Louisville Water. And then I got comments from MSD, but they're here, so I'm going to leave those. And then the only concern from Chief Smith, the police chief, he was unable to be here today because he has another meeting. He said his only concern is the additional traffic on 329, which will be addressed in the county engineer's comments. So I'm going to move on to, or I'll go ahead and give you the copy of all the comments if you'd like those. They're right here. I'm going to move on to Matt Toller, GIS manager.
If you're going to have a centralized mail, you'll just have to get with Crestwood Post Office for that location.
Okay.
And as far as the address on this, I don't see any place for any kind of signage. Do you have a preference as to what street you want the building to be?
You all might. I'm sure you have a preference on what you would prefer it to be addressed. Apple Patch Way. Yeah, like through that way.
I mean, I'm fine with that. When we're doing new apartment buildings like this, every single unit will have its own separate address. So it won't just be like a building name. So we have sort of a structure that we use where there's an address and like certain numbers reflect the floor and then the unit numbers. So before, if it gets approved, just get with me and we'll go over the list of whatever we're going to have for each individual unit. But that's my only comment.
Next is Derek Shade, County Engineer's Office.
Good afternoon. I'm Derek Shade. I'm here on behalf of the county engineer. Was detained today, so our review is for the plan dated June 13th, 2025 for TRC. I'm not going to go through all of my comments. LD&D is very familiar with a lot of our more generic comments. I'm just going to focus on some of the more important ones that we're going to be looking for additional detail on as you go through this process. So first one's pretty standard. It's our permit requirements. Since the land disturbing area is going to be greater than 1 acre, the applicant will be required to obtain a KYR 10 permit from the Kentucky Division of Water and a stormwater quality management and erosion control permit from Oldham County. One of the biggest factors that I think we'd like to have addressed is traffic impact. Oldham County Engineering, and a lot of these things were discussed when you guys came through with a previous project for Brownsboro Phase 2, so this should be familiar to most of the people in your office. We do have a traffic impact study backdated 2005 when the park and ride facility went in. There were certain recommendations contained in that traffic impact study regarding left turns and things like that on 329, but it was at that time signed for 55 miles an hour speed limit. We got an update to that report March 10th of 21, and it was part of the Brownsboro Wood Phase 2 apartment project. But there were some specifics with that traffic impact study because we all knew some of the other development coming through the area. And based on speed limit changes and things like that, there were some other recommendations proposed. But we definitely wanted to see that impact study updated, particularly because, as you mentioned earlier, the previous development was only for 32 units, while this one is now 72. So we figured we would definitely want that impact study updated to see if there was any other recommendations.
Yeah, I was going to ask if do you want to come up here maybe? I think with
Yes, we just want everyone on YouTube to be able to hear you. For the record, just say your name and then the Pillar address.
Sure. Carrie Gerdeman, Executive Director at Pillar 7408 Highway 329, Crestwood. So first off, the Brownsboro were for 2 bedrooms. Ours are just for 1. And I don't know this exact, but I would tell you 75 to 80% of the people living here will not be able to drive. Just for you know, because they have intellectual and physical and mental disabilities and they just don't have driver's licenses.
And I think those are some of the things that we're
Wanting on this?
I mean, which I would say when LD&D starts addressing these comments, that's
Okay.
something that you should discuss with the county engineer.
Okay.
Because we'd like to have documentation on stuff
Sure,
like that.
absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, we'll bring that up again with him. I'm pretty sure we discussed that at the pre-application meeting, but I'll have to go back through my notes to see because it felt like I got a sense from that meeting that it wouldn't be an increased impact compared to what was previously proposed, which was 32 market rate units. Apples and oranges kind of thing, but we'll figure it out and try to address that comment for you.
Great. Like I mentioned, a lot of the other stuff are general notes. There are a few more that I just want to touch on. As you stated, you're going to have stormwater coming from the up above properties and flowing through your site. Because of that, we'd like to have that system that flows through your site encompassed in stormwater drainage easements, since it can be classified as public water. Okay. Your comment number 7 under MSD notes, it's not shown anymore, says existing detention basin is sized for proposed flows. The detention basin analysis that we have on file is dated 2001. And a lot of the development within that Apple Patch development plan is not current for what currently exists and what is being planned as part of this development. So we're going to be looking for an update for that analysis so that we can verify that that basin is still functioning as designed.
Okay, I'll check the note to see if that even needs to be on the plan because I believe our intent is to bypass the basin and not utilize it with our flow.
Okay,
But
I'm not sure how that intent is since. Oh, there we go.
as we're showing conceptually on our plan, tying directly into the storm basins in the street versus outletting directly to the. Sorry.
Okay, so I would discuss that with your design engineer because you're a 3-acre site. I'm assuming you're going to be disturbing more than 1 acre. And when that happens, you guys have to show your post flows are equivalent to your pre-flows. And I'm not sure how you do that without flowing to a detention basin somewhere to throttle your flows down. In addition to that, since you are over 1 acre disturbed, you're going to have to provide water quality treatment. So usually that gets achieved through either a detention basin or some type of proprietary water quality unit. So definitely talk to your design engineer on that.
Sure.
Okay, I just touched on the water quality treatment. We are going to request that you provide us an AutoCAD file more toward the end of the project so we can include it in our stormwater mapping. We're probably going to be requesting that, once you go to record your drainage easements and stuff like that. So just be aware of that. And we are completely aware at this stage of the game, a lot of the details that we generally look for later on in construction plan review aren't on here, but just be aware we are going to be looking for various things like curb ramps and ADA compliance and things like that. So please make sure all that's addressed in your construction plan part. And those are all my comments. And you're going to have a copy of this letter and our red line plan we'll get you that too.
And I'll send you the red line one after the meeting today.
Thank you.
Next, we have Jeff Brown from MSD.
I didn't get MSD comments, so could I?
Oh, yes.
We did receive a sewer capacity approval letter recently. Yeah.
I think it says something to the extent that y'all needed to apply for something and then you had already applied for it.
Well, yeah, it says
The
capacity is
Outlook
reserved
makes it in
for-
weird order. Yeah.
Jeff Brown, Louisville Metropolitan Sewer District, 700 West Liberty Street, Louisville, Kentucky, 40203. And I think the big comment on this one would be the downstream facility capacity request. Since MSD does not handle the storm sewers in Oldham County, I think some of your general notes are not applicable for this plan. You'd referenced MSD drainage bonds and requirements, but that would all fall within Oldham County. So really, I think the only comment MSD would have at this time is the downstream facility capacity request.
Okay, makes sense. I think when we came through with the previous proposal, that hadn't quite changed over yet, I think, with MSD and Crestwood. So that may be some leftover notes that don't apply anymore.
Okay, and lastly, Chief Blakely.
Okay, at the time, we don't have any comments or concerns with this project at this time.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, and one more. It looked like with the sewer relocation, you will need to release some easements and then re-grant on that new alignment.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, now we will move on to the public question section. So if anyone in the audience would like to come forward and ask questions that are technical in nature, please state your name and address at the podium. Please make sure you speak into the microphone so we can all hear you and all of our YouTube audience can hear you as well. And none of the three other people in the audience have any questions? Okay. Well, we will close the public question period. And then if you received any notice of today's meeting, you will also receive notice of the Planning Commission hearing when they go to Planning Commission, which is held in this room on the fourth Tuesday of each month. If no one has anything else, this meeting will stand adjourned. Thank you, everyone.